In the heart of a little cobblestone town stood an old cobbler's shop, glowing warmly in the evening light. The wooden sign creaked softly as the breeze passed, and the scent of polished leather drifted out to the streets. Inside, shelves brimmed with shoes, tiny slippers, sturdy boots, and glittering dancing heels. And in the middle of it all, hunched on a wooden stool, sat the elderly cobbler. His round spectacles always slid down his nose as he worked, and his white mustache twitched whenever he chuckled at the antics of his unusual helpers. For in this cozy shop lived two companions unlike any other, a mischievous monkey and a clever little weasel. The monkey wore a bright red vest, his curly tail twitching with energy, and his wide eyes sparkling with endless curiosity. He was playful, sometimes reckless, but always full of laughter. The weasel, on the other hand, was the sharp thinker. Slim and quick-footed, with a dapper green bow tie and tiny glasses perched neatly on his nose, he always seemed a step ahead. Where the monkey tumbled into trouble, the weasel danced out of it with a knowing grin. The cobbler often muttered, "Between these two, I have more noise than nails in my shop." But he secretly adored them, for the shop would have been far too quiet without their mischief. One quiet afternoon, when the light slanted golden across the shelves, the monkey rummaged through his vest pocket and pulled out a single coin. He stared at it with drooping shoulders. It was his last penny. With a sigh, he dropped it onto the wooden floor where it spun and rolled under a bench. His tail curled low, and for once, the sparkle in his eyes dimmed. The weasel noticed at once. Hopping down from a shelf, he patted the monkey's arm and whispered kindly, "Don't frown, my friend. A penny lost is not the end." Then, with a sly grin, he rummaged through an old box on the cobbler's shelf and pulled out something extraordinary, a golden needle, glowing faintly as though it held a secret. He held it high, the light gleaming across his glasses. The monkey's eyes widened. "Treasure," he gasped, reaching out as though the needle were a jewel. The cobbler chuckled softly from his stool. "Ah, that needle. It's been in this shop longer than I can remember. They say it stitches more than leather. They say it stitches fate." His mustache twitched as though he weren't sure whether he believed the tale himself. Of course, the monkey immediately tried to balance spools of thread on his head while dancing about the room, hoping the needle might do something magical. The weasel clapped politely, tail swishing with amusement, but nothing happened. Not yet. Their games continued as always. Monkey giggled while holding a shoe to his eye like a telescope, searching for the weasel, who in turn popped out of a boot on the top shelf with a triumphant aha. The cobbler only shook his head, his spectacles fogging as he laughed. But then came the moment that changed everything.